cocoa plum, we got custard apple on the scene, we got the satin leaf, which is not fruiting yet. We have sugar cane back there, which is an imported plant to eat.
And maybe you could also talk about some of the pumpkins and things that corn that your ancestors grew on the Hammock Islands.
Yeah, we use this one actually for the school kids to plant. So it's great.
Is custard apple on the list of edibles?
It should be because it is edible.
Yeah.
I mean, you might want her standing by the tree and picking one.
Yeah, that's what I thought afterwards. She could walk around and maybe
And
pick
then you can just cut it.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, kind of the B-roll.
All right.
All right. Yeah, whenever you're ready.
You know, here in the Everglades, you know, when we're
Sorry. A couple things. Airplane, but Dad, your
Okay.
pole is, yeah.
okay, so
There we go.
right here.
Still in the shot.
Still.
Yeah. I'm rolling. Here, Dad. Just, I'll,
Is there going to be like a bloopers
spell.
section?
yeah.
Call you Betty Bloops.
Instead of boot, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I do like that. That helps.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. That'd save your arm.
So you might want to just watch the screen, just make sure I'm not dipping into
You've
the
got
shot.
her pretty much off to the side,
Yeah.
right?
So that camera should be rolling. You want to just double check, Dad?
You're recording.
Yep. Okay.
You know, here in the Everglades, it's almost like your own virtual market. For groceries, you go, we have, our people ate alligator. We would hunt the alligator for the hide to use it to make other garments or to store items in. And we would also hunt the egret, the wood stork, the ibis, the different ducks that come down here in the to winter in the Everglades. We also, there's a garfish, bass. You have what they call, we call it mudfish. I think other people call it bowfin. We didn't really eat the catfish because it was very muddy in taste. And for plants on the islands, like the tree island that we're on now, you have the cocoa plum, you have the custard apple trees, there's guava trees here. You have even the cabbage palm tree. At different times of the year, it gets its berries that you can eat. Also, this particular island has satin leaf that also has berries. The berries for the satin leaf, we used to chew it like bubble gum. So that was our indigenous bubble gum. Also, this particular island has wild potatoes, very small wild potatoes. Some of the other islands of the Everglades will have wild onions. Over time, there was even one of the elders actually started planting fruit trees all over the Everglades. So now you'll find wild oranges, wild lemons, because he wanted, wherever we traveled, he wanted them there to be a source of food for the people when they inhabited the different islands in their seasonal home. Also, culturally, in our ceremonies, we use corn. So corn is very important to us, and you know, for families will plant their corn and they'll save their seeds and they'll pass those seeds down, kind of like heirloom seeds. They'll pass it on from generation to generation, and they plant that corn. And we eat corn certain times a year. We don't eat it all year long. And we use, it's a very important to us. Also, we have the stories of how, you know, corn played an important role in the survival of our people, and we have to give it that level of respect. Also, we plant pumpkin. The Seminole pumpkins that the people planted is not like the calabash or other pumpkins that you can buy in the market today, because the Seminole pumpkin, over time, the shell hardens. It doesn't just rot. So for months after you harvest the pumpkin, for months and months at a time, they would store the pumpkins on the platforms. And at maybe 6 months out of the year, that pumpkin was still there and it was good. You didn't have to worry about going bad. Today you go to the market, buy a pumpkin, 3 days later, you know, if you haven't cooked it, it starts to rot. And also there, on some of the islands, you'll find banana trees, very short bananas that taste like a plantain. Also, sawgrass. If you don't have a food source and you're traveling across the Everglades in your dugout canoe and you're out hunting, and maybe you ran out of jerky, you know, they taught us that you could pull up the sawgrass and eat a small portion of that sawgrass for food. And also that sawgrass was also, because it's very fibrous, they would actually, that's your indigenous, you know, X-lax. they would chop it up and saute it a little bit and then feed it to somebody to help, you know, cleanse their system. And the same thing with the berries of the cabbage palm. If you take too many of it, you can get a stomach ache, and you know, and also it'll get things moving. And they would also put it in water to let it deteriorate in the water, and also use that as a cleanser. And just like, you know, guavas, they tell you don't eat this. You learn the different things out here of what to survive on. And even the deer, when you hunt for deer, you know, they ate every part of the animal. Nothing went to waste. Even the brain got used to tan the hides. The wild pigs out here, you know, they ate the brain, they ate the eyes, ate everything, ate the bone marrow. And I think, you know, and now today you have to take a pill, right? So you know, if you're getting osteoporosis, you know, their solution was to eat the bone marrow. And even then, we also made blood sausage. So nothing went to waste. They used all parts of that animal. And you know, even turtles, you know, soft-shell turtle, you know, the yellow-bellied sliders, they eat those. The snapping turtles, so or dig up, you know, the turtle eggs and eat the turtle eggs, or if the turtle still had its eggs, you know, eat the eggs of the turtle. Even fish. I grew up eating the intestines of the fish. Very good.
Did you eat kunti?
I have never eaten kunti. I know my mother talked about how they cooked with it and how they processed. It's a very long process to get the poison out. And you have families that still know how to process the kunti, but it's an endangered plant, right? So it's illegal to harvest the kunti out in the wild. But it made a very good flour, and I understand since it's a root plant, we didn't making the flour with it and eating the bread that was made from it was a much healthier version of a bread because it's from a root. We didn't have a wheat, you know, products here in Florida, and wheat wasn't in our diet. So there's a lot of foods that exist today that we have a lot of sensitivities to. Our bodies, you know, can't handle that.
Shit, because my arm's falling asleep.
Good answer.
We can spell each other.
That's fine. It's just a weird angle. And cattail, right? You use the,
We don't eat cattail. We don't mess with cattail.
No.
No.
Did other indigenous...
Maybe other tribes. I don't know if Garrett's tribes do. I've heard of Americans saying that they ate the cattail root, but we don't.
I think it's an Irish
Just
thing.
like we don't eat mushrooms either. You know, there's wild mushrooms that grow in Florida. There's we don't eat eggplant. There's some fish that we won't eat. We don't eat shrimp. I mean, some of the younger generations will eat shrimp, but we have cultural reasons why we don't eat certain things. We don't eat turkey.
You want me to ask those last two questions?
I think...
She's covered a lot of
Yes.
the balance and, you know.
Yeah, I think she nailed all those.
Want me to stop this?
Maybe we can stop it for a second.
I
I'll
think
just look
one
over it.
question that